Hello everyone. So, in this video I'm gonna show you how to make trees in Theme Park Tycoon 2. Of course there are millions of ways of making tree. This is one of them, and the result is these kind of trees. These are very simple, yeah, but they are also pretty easy to build, so yes. So let's get right to it. So these trees are actually made only from two different pieces. So firstly you need this primitive over here, and the other one is this primitive, the very first one you have. And the color for the, so basically this is the trunk and these are for the leaves. So for the trunk the color is brown. You can choose the kind of brown you want, and then I found that sandstone is a very good texture for the bark of the tree. So yeah, and for the leaves I used the grass texture and a pretty muted dark green color. It's easy to get it too saturated, so I would suggest sticking to a little bit muted more muted color. So let's start with the trunk of the tree, and here a easy tip is, well, actually firstly put your snapping to 0 and then we can start building. I like to start from the top of the trunk because then you know what the thickness is gonna be, because like then you can choose the height of the tree when you start, and yeah. Then you just put one piece and make the next one a little bit more thick, and also rotate it a little bit in some direction, and you just continue this. And remember to rotate in all directions and not just one. Okay, nice. Now we have the trunk of the tree, and one tip here is, while making the trunk, is that you can really choose how curvy you want it to be. If you're going for a more fantasy look or like magical look, you can make it a little bit more curvy, and for a more realistic look, make it pretty straight. This is pretty straight because, well, I'm going for a realistic look now. So then we get to making the branches. So you have to choose the spot you want to make a branch, make it a little bit slimmer than the trunk, and then just going up from the trunk, and you just start making it. Then one trick here is that you can really copy the pieces, because nobody is ever gonna see that some of the branches are copied. Of course not all of the branches can be copied, but you can copy a few branches around, and that makes it a little bit quicker to build this. Then of course remember that you also want some branches coming from branches and not just everything one from the trunk of the tree, so yeah. So now we got the trunk of the tree done. Next we are gonna do the leaves. So you take the cube with the leaf color, maybe make it a little bit smaller, and basically just a cube, and then you rotate a few of them around to make this kind of weird shape. You can scale some of them and just make them different sizes. And one thing to keep in mind when making the leaves is that you don't want to make too many objects. This is, for example, 8 objects, and the thing why you don't want to make too many objects is when you copy it around, it's really easy for the tree to get over the 250 limit, and and because the copying limit, if you wanna copy the tree around, you can only copy 250 objects at a time. So make sure the tree isn't over 250 objects. For example, these trees are 249 because I made them as big as I could without going over the limit. So for example, here I tried to make like spike and other stuff to the leaves, and it really quickly started to become way too many objects, and this was the largest tree I could make. And yeah, so if you wanna make large trees, especially, you don't wanna put too many leaves in one of those leaf packets or things. And here I used like 9 objects for one. So yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind. And then you wanna make one where you have 3 of them copied around and of course rotated, so you don't see that it's copied. And this is just to make a little bit bigger leaf thing. Then you wanna group them, and so you select them all and group them. And of course group the trunk too, so you can select it more easily. So then you just start adding the leaves, and here actually these are pretty thin and they are anyways going to go inside of here, so you don't actually really need the thinnest pieces at the end. So now we got a pretty tree looking thing over here, and in this stage you should make sure that it's under 250 objects. So actually I could have made this a lot bigger or more detailed because it's just that, but yeah, so make sure. And if it is over it a little bit, you can maybe delete few of these cubes over here, like not all of them are needed, and especially if you did it like from the inside here, nobody's gonna notice that there are some missing. So yeah, that's one way to get a few items trimmed. But yeah, and now we wanna make a little bit of color variation in the leaves, otherwise it's just a very boring looking. So let's make the palette over here, and you don't want too much of color variation, just a little bit, so not too much. So you take the color and then you change it around a little bit. Yeah, so this is how you make the tree. And if you wanna go on and make it for example more detailed, and you don't care about it being copyable, you can of course do what I did here and add like different shapes like triangles and stuff to the leaves. It makes them a little bit more spiky and interesting looking. Then you can also put like roots on there with cones. That's one way, and yeah, there is a lot of ways to make it more detailed. And yeah, one thing is that you maybe could like make not vines, but like, you know, things hanging from the tree. That could also make it pretty looking. Yeah, so just like something like this, just hanging. But yeah, that's if you wanna make it more detailed. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now you're happy with your own tree. Oh, and one thing is that you want to make a few, not just one, but a few different trees. For example, for this forest over here, I made 4 different trees in different sizes. So when I copy them, there is a lot of variation between the trees, and yeah, makes it a little bit more interesting looking. And yeah, now you're done with your trees. See you in the next video.